The Black Entrepreneurs Alliance has issued an urgent call to action, highlighting critical issues of consumer exploitation and safety concerns within foreign-owned spaza shops in South Africa's townships. They alleged unfair practices, including excessive service fees, expired food products and non-compliant product labelling. The BEA urges swift action from regulatory authorities to protect consumers, enforce compliance and promote economic empowerment for local businesses. And for more on this conversation, we're now joined by CEO of Black Entrepreneurs Alliance, Refilwe Monageng, and he joins us now in studio for more on this conversation. Much for your time this evening here in SABC News. Now, you've labelled out a number of concerns you have with township spaza shops. Of course, this is also exacerbated by the fact that we saw so many children passing away due to foods consumed from spaza shops.
Yeah, thank you, Mbali. Well, you would appreciate that the foreign-owned nationals, they've seen gaps from regulatory implementations and enforcement of bylaws. So the foreign owners are violating Section 23(6)A and 26(3)B of the Consumer Protection Act, which clearly states, if you look at 23(6)A, that no supplier can charge an additional fee on top of what's displayed on a product. For example, if you look at airtimes that are being sold in communities, a 29 Rand airtime is sold for 30 Rand. So the question from us is that, so if the foreign-owned nationals, they make R1 million over a period of a month from these 1 rands, over 12 months, it's 12 million Rand. You can imagine what you can finance with that. Secondly, with 26(3)B, it clearly states that every product needs to be clearly labeled. It has to have a barcode and it needs to have an address of the source. Now, you'd appreciate that in South Africa, the barcode of South African manufactured products starts with 600. So the other ones whereby even the National Consumer Commissioner has found out that some products were labeled in Mandarin. So as per Section 3 of the Consumer Protection Act, it's very clear on saying that you need to protect vulnerable groups and ensure that they are buying products that they understand. Like I said earlier on, so foreign nationals have realized the gap, and that's why they are shoving their products to our people on the basis of unaffordability and lack of maybe proper understanding of proper branding of South African products.
And now you're also saying that they basically found some of the loopholes that we've had in our systems for quite a number of years, and hence why we find ourselves here where we're having a discussion concerning the issues around spaza shops and not actually adhering to the country's laws.
So let me give you context in terms of how foreign nationals have done this. In the early 90s, they came to South Africa selling carpets. Remember those people who were working around with carpets? So they were doing commercial intelligence. One, they understood our habits, our cultural behaviors, and how friendly we are. And with that, they then started shops. So this idea of calling them my friend started there. Hi, friend, how are you? And they give you carpets on credit, saying that we'll come and collect the money month end. So they get to study how many are you in this household, and you also trust them. So by so saying that they bought our community trust in order to ensure that from carpets they open up shops, and therefore psychology our people. That's why it seems that our people trust them more than local entrepreneurs. So we got to understand, where does this come from and what has led us to be here. Now, whilst that was happening, there was also an emergence of shopping malls. So shopping malls also, a lot of our local people, they were flogging into buying from shopping malls, and that's how we lost that opportunity of ensuring that while we were entertaining shopping malls, a lot of foreign nationals closed the gap of house shops.
But it also just shows you that there is still room for spaza shops, because, I mean, there are a number of them in our local communities. At the same time, how do we fix this process? Because you are stating a number of issues here, that they came and they studied, the practices of South Africans. But how do we begin to fix the issues around spaza shops? Because, I mean, I remember growing up in Soweto, there were a number of spaza shops that were actually locally owned.
Yes, I mean, you would know, Buntate Malakwa, Maponya, bontate Khabo, bontate Monageng. So there were a lot of people that had started businesses. So what we are asking, we don't want to sound like crybabies. We are saying let's also contribute and have e-house shops, e-spaza shops. Now in e-spaza shop, through your WhatsApp, WhatsApp business, you can have and advertise all your products, unlike your customers coming to you, and start delivering to them. So it's an opportunity for us as local entrepreneurs start being advanced and ensure that you build that credibility which foreign nationals saw an opportunity. Secondly, in terms of training and development, we would appreciate if government can ensure that we collaborate on this training and development, like what the Gauteng Department of Economic Development is doing tomorrow on their plates with the Consumer Affairs Office. We would want more of that in order for our people to understand their rights, to understand their values, and to understand how can we work together with government. We're not expecting government to do things for us on the basis that we are entrepreneurs. All we are saying, how do we collaborate in ensuring that bylaw kept and adhered to, and ensure that we have a fair playing field with legally operating foreign nationals, because we understand there are illegal ones and the legal ones. And we are saying, based on the recent court judgment, that if foreign nationals are in the country legally, then they should also enjoy the same economic privileges that we do. And we are saying, as Black Entrepreneurs Alliance, we are happy with that, but on the basis of that, we would want them to adhere to the laws that we've spoken about, because if they don't, we run the risk of compromising our own businesses, and the local money that they generate, they expatriate it, they don't contribute to the fiscus, and they also contribute to labor exploitation, because they bring their own people in the country, which we don't know. And by the way, we also want to emphasize that their credit records and police clearances, the municipalities government needs to put it up front to say, we need to know your police status, because the profile of these young men, they can tend to become insurgencies. Lastly, if you recognize the profile of these young men that are in the country, the fact that they don't come with their mothers or grandparents or kids, what is it that they are planning? So we are saying, if they are entrepreneurs, let them illuminate their business visas on any shop. If you go and buy to their shops, you must be able to see their business visas.
A number of South Africans have been calling on for inspections to be done at spaza shops, and the Gauteng government will be leading one. You've just mentioned that. Will you be part of that blitz operation that will be conducted tomorrow?
We'd love to. But depending, we don't want to be seen to be imposing, and also to be like we're spying to say, yeah, this is what government knows what they need to do. So we will take a rain check on that.
All right. And when it comes to President Cyril Ramaphosa seeing this extension of the registration of spaza shops, I just want to get to your insights in terms of your thoughts on that. We know that because of the number of deaths that we saw of children, now calling on for more spaza shops to be registered. What is your take on the registration process now that government is undertaking, and this extension we have seen?
So it's a good move. However, the time is still too tight, the 28th of February. You'll see that even when the 28th of February comes, not a lot of spaza shops would comply. Purely because the requirements, like for title deeds, you would know that we have social housing, like you're seeing in Flareoff, in El Dorado Park, in Soweto, in Alexander. The fact that on the application form, you need consent with the title deed holder. And you can understand that there's also family feuds, that in some instances, the title deed holder might not want to give you consent to open up a spaza shop. Like it's December now. Some family members might say, Smelu malume, when the uncle comes, so and if the uncle says, so Easter, where does that leave you? So it's those such things that needs to be looked at. Then another compliance issue, it's the approval of building approvals. We are to say foreign nationals seems to be when did they get building approvals? Because it takes time with regards to public administration. So it's things that we're saying that, President, it's not enough. We still need to regularize and find each other in terms of the informal and unbanked economy. But also it's important to note that some instances and some parts of the local economy needs to be left unregulated, because over-regulation can also kill an industry. If you read a book that says fortunes at the bottom of the pyramid, government. This is what we are looking at.
Unfortunately, we have run out of time, Refilwe. Thank you so much for your time and for coming in studio to talk to us more about this conversation. That is the CEO of Black Entrepreneurs Alliance, Refilwe Monageng, joining us in studio about the issue around, of course, spaza shops that we are faced with in the country.